Hi guys, Model Muppet here. How are you doing? I'm going to show you how to get a World War One bunker type setting in your Farcry maps. Now I'm calling this Farcry mapping for dummies, and the reason isn't to insult you, it's because I'm a dummy too. And I look at other guys' tutorials and stuff, and it's like I take my hats off to them. You know, there's some real experts out there. I'm not an expert, and if you're watching this, you're not either. So I'm going to fail with you when we're doing this, and we're going to try again until we get it how we want it. First thing you want to do is get yourself a generated map, or build a map from scratch if that's how you prefer. If it's a generated one though, clear some of the collection systems off. Just makes it a lot easier for you to see. They're very easy to put back in. Oh, fuck. Shut up, dog. Sorry. Now you can also turn off collections in the settings, but I just tend to do it this way. Anyway, the first thing we're going to do is level off some ground ready to put our bunker entrance in. Okay, so flatten some ground off using the flatten tool. Duh. I did say this would be for dummies. Alright, so yeah, flatten off some ground. Oh, I've got my dog coming and paying me loads of attention now because I yelled at him. I didn't yell at you. I love you. Now shush. I'm doing a video. I love my dog. Now, when you're flattening this ground, you have to be careful that higher up area, that you don't end up with this sort of massive sheer cliff face, because that's going to make it very difficult when we put the hole into it. And try not to giggle when I say hole. I'm going to have to say hole quite a few times in this, and I know what some of you guys are like. You're just going to be Muppet said hole. Right, well, you're not Peter Griffin. So we flatten this off, we get the bit that we want, and we put it roughly into position. Now we're still going to need to flatten some out, and the reason I'm letting it take this long is I want you guys to understand, unless you're an expert, this isn't a sort of super quick rapid process. Once you get more familiar with it, you can do it quicker, but certainly for me it's not a super quick rapid process. You know what I mean. So just kind of keep chipping away, just flattening out the area until the thing sits nice on the ground. Once the whole thing is complete, we can sort of smooth off that flattened area, working from the front of the steps going outwards, if you know what I mean. And we need to sort of bring that down a little bit more as well. So you'll just see, I'm just going to kind of faff about with this a little bit here. Do 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 do. Now you're better off using small brushes, if you like, a small area than a large one. So we get into the advanced settings. Oh, not yet, hang on. This is actually kind of the most difficult part, is getting the entrance right. Once you've got the entrance right, everything else just sort of falls into place. So it is worth spending your time on this. And what I found is trying to correct mistakes afterwards is a lot harder, because anything else that you have connected to this, you're going to have to change again. So I really strongly advise you get this bit of it as perfect as you can. Right, so now we're going to the advanced settings and we get our hole, and you can see that triangle sticking up there a little bit. So we need to make sure that the radius of it is small, and it's much easier just to sort of cut away a little chunk at a time. I'll just show you what happens in a minute if we make the hole too big. So say if I'd had the brush size too big, Oh, hold on, let me just tidy that up. Yeah, the brush size is too big. You'll get that ugly gap there, which you've then got to start filling in with rocks and stuff, and then they look odd compared to the surrounding area, so you've got to put more and more rocks in. Yeah, so make the hole small and just do a little bit at a time. Once you go through it, this is what it's going to look like from the other side. And it does get very disorientating, especially once you start getting some overlapping tunnels in. That can be a real nightmare. Now what I'd suggest for the other end, say you were going to loop this around, so you've got more than one entrance and exit, is just put the next exit or entrance roughly where you want it, but don't worry about repositioning it exactly, etc. Now I have to say that lining these up can be a bit of a pain. Turn the auto scroll off in your settings will make it a lot easier for doing this sort of thing. And what you have to do is just go to it from every angle and make sure that it's aligned properly. Now highlighting one and then the other helps you to see whether you need to move it up or down just that little smidgen. See that little bit there? That would be enough to trip a player or stop them moving momentarily during the game, and people don't like that. Quite naturally they want to move as fluidly as they can. So when you're placing things, you have to try and make sure that they're spot on. And I would strongly advise you test each little bit one at a time. Don't be tempted to put more in thinking it'll do, because what you'll find is it won't do. And once you've got loads of stuff in, you really won't want to go back and reposition everything by a couple of millimeters. Anyway, so that movement seemed fine, getting up and down in and out that entrance. So we just go on to the next bit. I'm going to put a curved bit in here. Again, I find it simpler to place it in using the place then edit function. And again, we go from all angles. Get it roughly right. Excuse me. Get it roughly right. And in a second we can drop in and see what it's like from the inside. Oh, these walls disappear when you're looking at them. That confused the hell out of me at first, because I kept rotating it thinking there was something wrong with it. Told you I'm a muppet. So I don't know if you notice it on the screen there, but there's a little judder when I move up, and we can see that it's not aligned properly. It is noticeable visibly, but only slightly. But it's still worth trying to get that bit right. So go back into edit mode and just reposition it until you're happy. Now I'm not saying that everything in game has to be perfect and repositioned, but I do think that things that involve players' movement, we should pay them as much attention as possible. On the last map that I did, human traffic, there is a couple of points in there that I think, so I'm still in two minds about whether to take that down and repost it up. I might do. I probably will do, in fairness. When I say in fairness, I mean in fairness to the people who have to play it. So that seems nice and smooth, and no juddering. Now from here on in, it's just a case of remembering roughly where your final bit is, and then just working your way along. Just adding tunnel sections on, adding rooms, make the thing as big or as small as you want. Don't forget to put some detail in. I think it's quite important to have some detail in these sort of bunkers, because they do look a bit plain otherwise. Hope you found this tutorial useful. If you have, don't forget to rate, share, like and subscribe, all that kind of goodness. and leave any feedback you have. Let me know if it drones on a bit too much or if you actually like the slower pace of it. Looking forward to the comments. This is Muppet out. Take it easy, guys. Bye.